Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. I am Imani.
I am J. Bernard Maat Kynes.
And yeah, I'm that too. But we welcome all of our viewers and friends and family. And we have a wonderful show on Progressively Yours Health and Wellness podcast this evening. We are Sankofa Institute for Wellness, and we are totally dedicated to bringing health and wellness to millions of people. We're so dedicated to doing that. And this platform gives us the opportunity to share some amazing people and talent and authors and performers. And our guest this evening is all of the above. So I won't spoil it, but we will be bringing her on in a minute, right after Bernard does his opening and I share some updates, and then we'll get right into the heart of our show.
Thank you, Imani. Thank you so very much. And it is part of our ritual and tradition to begin our show, our podcast, with a brief spiritual open. It's not religious in scope, but we do honor and pay homage to our ancestors whom we welcome to the show. And they've already granted us permission to proceed. So I'd like for you to join in with me for this brief meditative moment. I would strike the ting shaws 3 times, and I'd like to invite you to sit, stand wherever you are. If you can, close your eyes and begin to relax and pay attention to your body. Begin noticing everything without attaching to anything that you feel. Just notice it. Begin to breathe in and out through your nose as we begin. 3 deep breaths. On each exhalation, let your shoulders drop a centimeter or a millimeter. 9. Body. And spirit. We are created in the image of light. And the light is the source of all creation. And therefore, we are light. Usually I read from Thich Nhat Hanh, who's one of my favorite readers and mindfulness meditative person. But today I decided I want to read something that I wrote. This is part of my morning ritual each morning before I begin my day. And I want to read to you what I wrote this morning. And this is how I typically start my morning before I look at my phone, check in the text or email. I have to turn inwardly, settle down, and listen to some nice, wordless, instrumental music. But these are my thoughts from this morning and for today. 6 August 24 equals 12 and 3. 3 is completion. Today, I allow myself for completion to happen trust we're back.
We're back.
So I want to begin again and start again. Today, I allow myself a completion of my inner unity, mind, body, and spirit. I allow myself to embrace a spirit of acceptance, of gratitude, of compassion, of grace, and of love with understanding. I allow myself to listen to my neighbors with openness and with interest in what is being experienced in his or her life in the moment. I allow myself to enjoy the community of fellowship, a fellowship for exploring more of one's life, one's story, and one's vision for imagining new possibilities for life, my life, your life. I allow myself to pay homage to the ancestors, to be open to my guides and to my diamond or my guardian angel. On this day, I allow myself to simply be light in this world. Ashe.
Ashe.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. It's always nice when we have our original words and thoughts, and you're such a deep thinker. So thank you for sharing with me and our audience and our guests. All right.
All right.
All right.
You're welcome.
So, and I apologize for us going out for a second. I was trying to greet folks who were saying hello, and I hit something and it went off. So my apologies, but I think we're good. We are back and excited about our show this evening. So I'll give just a couple of updates and pieces of probably advertisements. One is that we always encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And Janet always puts our YouTube address up there, which is up there, Progressively Yours Health and AN 6600. For those of you if you're driving or whatever, can't see it, Progressively Yours Health and 6600. How it came out as that address, I don't know. But YouTube is very important in terms of numbers and documenting numbers. Plus, you'll always every week get the announcement of our show and what the topic is going to be for that evening. We're also, of course, on LinkedIn and Facebook. Facebook has gotten a little weird, meta. And we were moved around a little bit. So some of our regular Facebook followers are still having trouble following us. And I apologize profusely to them. Come visit us with the Red Light Bed up in Swanee. We have discounts running, a huge discount for the rest of the summer. And so you can call 470-861-7266 to schedule an appointment. We already have some people who have texted me and said, I'm coming. I will have got someone coming tomorrow, in fact. So also, we had a gentleman on, Dr. Samuel Peters, a couple of weeks ago, who introduced his amazing health technology called Alice AI. And we are going to be offering a free week of scanning through this device, which scans virtually. You can do it over the phone, but if you're there with the person, you can do it with the phone or with the tablet. But it scans 11 body systems and energetically, and as it's scanning, it's looking for things that are off balance, and it actually starts correcting them and working on them. And I could tell you stories, but it would take up the rest of the show. Every day, I'm just amazed at what's happening as a result of this technology. So please call. Again, it's the same number, 470-861-7266, to get on the schedule and try it for free. If nothing happens, then nothing is lost, but you'll get at least 2 scans for the first week, and then you'll be eligible for some major discounts that we have in terms of this technology. But people are raving, absolutely raving about it. And finally, as we're speaking about AI, there's a system I mentioned last week, Smart Desk AI, which is something that helps you to promote whatever your business or activity or gift or art is. And they send out like 50 emails a day to millions of people, around the world. So you get a huge audience, and people are signing up for free, and then they're paying you to refer other people into the system. So I think that is just absolutely amazing. And they're paying up to like $60 for each person you refer. So you definitely want to hop on that. I have a link for that somewhere. Ooh. Toya, do you have that link back there? It's smartdesktop.ai. So if you can find it, yeah, that looks like it. I see it on Progressively Yours. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's smartdesktop.ai /, the letter A equals 828327. And just to be totally transparent, if people sign up for that, that actually helps to support this program and all of the wonderful programming and people that we're bringing to folks. And so we encourage you to support us by signing up for the Smart Desktop AI, and it'll help you and it'll help us as well. All right. So with that, I'm going to, and also, excuse me, check out our website, meetsankofa.com, and you will see lots of other offerings that we have and supplements and a number of things that we highly recommend and endorse. Way too many to mention all of them here. Let me take a sip before I go on.
Good.
It's so good. Lemon tea, lemon and mint. I think it's lemon and mint.
Citrus mint.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have an amazing guest this evening who was actually on one of our shows in the past. We had Mr. Bruce Carter, who was introducing businesses in the community and encouraging Black business development and collaboration. And he highlighted a program that is dealing with sex trafficking. So Ms. Carolyn Jones is our guest, and she's going to tell us all about the work that they're doing. Atlanta is one of the sex trafficking capitals of probably of the country. So it's such an important issue in terms of protecting the young folks who are being pulled into that. Carolyn Jones is married to Chaplain Elder James Mark Jones Jr. They are both military veterans with 11 children and 11 grandchildren. She is the founder of Oasis Montage Ministries, a nonprofit organization that provides advocacy for domestic violence and sex trafficking victims. She has an exemplary history of providing workshops and empowerment conferences for victims, as well as sex trafficking abolitionist training. This dynamic playwright, author, publisher, producer, actress, television show talk host, and motivational speaker shares her life story of how she herself overcame being abused. With a history of several testimonies, her theatrical productions deliver a message of healing and self awareness. She was victimized by her ex husband, a minister, for more than 10 years. The leg break, brutal beatings, kidnappings, rapings, choking, child abuse. A child was thrown out of a car window. I'm assuming it was her child. She'll tell us about that. Homelessness, domination, and so much more. Um, she has overcome so much, and I'm going to tell you just a little bit more, and then she'll get into her story as we have a discussion with her. But she has dedicated her life to helping victims who have experienced similar types of trauma in their lives. In the year 2000, she met with Tyler Perry, David Talbott, and T.D. Jakes, all of whom inspired her to write the vision and to make it plain. She says the theatrical works are used as a tool to help others visually see how abuse can be fatal. She's going to talk about her two plays, The Gift of Giving and Women Shoptalk While Real Men Wait. It provides her audiences with real life situations and inspirational alternatives to recovery. With that, I'd like to welcome our guest, Carolyn Jones. Come on out.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Carolyn.
Hey.
And welcome. Thank you.
Welcome. It's so nice to have you. We got a little taste last time we were together with you, but yes, we really wanted the audience to get a full view of you and the work. This is very, very important work that you're doing here in Atlanta.
Yeah. Amen. Thank you so much for having me as a guest. I'm honored. Yay.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
And we know you have, as Imani was reading in the intro, elements of your story.
Yes.
But would you tell us just briefly before we get into the heart of what you want to talk about and share tonight, another part of your story that begins from birth up to age 12. What's the first memory that comes to mind as you free associate about 0 to 12?
0 to 12? Probably when we were stationed in Colorado Springs and my father was in Vietnam. My mother was working in nursing, and I have 4 older siblings. And I just recall them having house parties in the 70s and my sister singing with James Brown and Earth, Wind and Fire and Shaka Khan, and just having all the celebrities at my house all the time when I was a kid. I thought that was so cool. And James Brown taught me how to sew for the first time. So that would go back to age 6, probably age 6.
Wow.
Sounds like, so wait, you actually met the stars in your house? They came
over? But you know, that's because we were stationed. My dad was stationed at Fort Carson. And so, you know, all those different celebrities, they come to the military base and they perform. Right. And James Brown was, he was actually a soldier himself. James Brown was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you got to meet them. That is so cool.
So early on, did your father move around from different stations? I know the military, when you're active duty, it's either 2 to 3 years, and then you go into another location. Is that part of your early life story as well?
Yeah. I was born in Bremerhaven, Germany. And then my dad was stationed at Fort Lewis, Washington, Fort Leonard Wood, Illinois. And then when he got to Fort Carson, he decided that he didn't want us to travel anymore. And he decided he didn't retire, but he bought a house there and told my mom, no more traveling for the family. You all stay in Colorado until I retired. So I remember that was in 1975 that my dad bought the house, and he didn't retire till 1982.
Wow.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I fractured my patella at Fort Lewis.
Oh, wow. You were at Fort Lewis, Washington?
Yeah, I was there for a boxing tournament and fractured my patella in uh, December 1976, and
Wow.
did my AIT training at Fort Leonard Wood.
Okay. Yeah.
Got pneumonia. I had to spend a week in the hospital.
Mm.
So been across some of those
Yeah.
trails that you have traveled.
Yeah. That's interesting. So you are a veteran too. That's cool.
27 years.
Wow. So my husband's 29 years and I did 8 years Navy.
Okay, very good.
Wow.
Yeah, I did 3. I was active 3, and then the remainder years were guard
Reserves.
and reserves. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Absolutely.
of course.
Sounds like a interesting and real full
Yeah.
childhood.
Yeah, it really was. My dad was a Purple Heart and just it was a great military life. I have no complaints. I had a great childhood.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So tell us a little bit about your work and what kind of led up to your work. As much of your story as you feel like sharing. I know you told me a
Sure.
little bit about your sister.
Yeah.
And I know that's a big part. So I'm going to be quiet and let you talk a little bit because we really want to hear about what it is you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Carolyn has done so much. I grew up in Colorado Springs, where my father retired. My siblings, I have 4 older siblings. My sister, of course, she was an artist and she traveled a lot with Earth, Wind and Fire, Shaka Khan, James Brown, and so my parents were going through a divorce back in '82 after my dad retired. For some reason, I'm like, how do y'all be married for 26 years and then have issues? That just, anyway, that kind of messed with me a little bit. And so my parents were back and forth and wanting me and my little brother to choose different things. And I was like, no, she's 19. She's going to move away. I thought I was grown. I wasn't grown, not really. So Denver and Colorado Springs is about an hour drive. So I moved to Denver and I was 19 and I lived in my own apartment. I was working 3 jobs. I was in college. And my neighbor happened to be someone that I ended up marrying. That was the beginning of my domestic violent relationship. I married my ex husband when I was 22. I got pregnant with Sparkle when I was 21. And that was in '85 when I got pregnant and delivered Sparkle in '86. There was a lot of signs of domestic violence, but in my mind, all I could think about is I was raised with 2 parents. You don't sleep with other people. You don't live with people. And I'd gotten pregnant with Sparkle. And in my mind, I was like, I got to be married. And so I accepted and tolerated things that is not normal. Someone having a hold of you saying the things you can and can't do, who you can and can't talk to, who you can and can't be around, things you can and can't do. And all the signs were there of the controlling attitude. And my ex-husband was my next door neighbor. He was somebody that didn't have anything. And so although I wasn't rich, I wasn't poor, but I was very intelligent. I learned a lot being in Colorado. And I was probably the only Black woman. I had a huge beauty salon. I owned a truck wash. I owned a network wiring company. And so I even had paid someone to train my ex-husband how to do network wiring company, fiber optic splicing and low voltage wiring. And so I had contracts, with the military, with Walmart, and had people that worked for me. And so I kind of took my ex-husband from rags to riches. And when the signs and stuff was going on about the control and the violence, and I wanted to leave, you wasn't going nowhere. The control was there, and I couldn't figure out how to get out of it because I was stuck in it. So when I have this wonderful, heroic husband that I'm married to now. So here I am. I've been married to my ex-husband 9 years. I had experienced being choked unconsciously, a leg break, being kidnapped, held in bondage, a lot of things that happened within that 9 years. And when my leg got broken, I was at a retirement party for one of the ministers at my church. And I looked over and I saw this handsome guy look like Shamar Moore. And I was like, oh my God, he is so fine. He looks like Shamar Moore. So all the church ladies going, who, where? I said, that guy over there said, Carolyn, we're going to go tell him. I said, no, don't tell him. That was girl talk. And they said, if you don't tell him, we're going to go tell him. So I hopped over there. And so I'm seeing this guy's playing dominoes, and he's military, and we're at the NCO club with the retirement party of one of the ministers at my church. And I looked at him, and they said, tell him what you said. And I was like, okay. So I whispered to him and I said, don't play that domino, play that domino. And he looked at me like, if you don't get away from me. I was like, oh, okay. So I hopped back over there to where they were at. And they said, did you tell him? I said, I told him. So this guy comes standing next to me at the table. And I looked over and he says, hi. I said, oh, hi. He says, was I rude to you? I said, maybe a little bit. And he said, well, I ain't never had no female tell me don't play no domino. And they said, that's what she told you? She's supposed to tell you that you fine. You look like Shamar Moore. I was like, he said, were you supposed to tell me that? I said, I guess so. He said, would you like something to drink? And I said, oh, no, I don't drink. He said, would you like to dance? And so I pointed to my leg, and I had a cast all the way up to my hip. And he looked at me, and I said, I can't dance. And he says, who did that? I said, I fell. He said, you didn't fall. You tell him I said, if he ever touches you again, I'll break his neck. I said, excuse me, sir, I don't know you. And I did fall, and I'm married, and I have 3 kids. He said, you're married to a lowlife that ain't no good. And you tell him I'll break his neck if he touches you again. I was like, sir, no, really, I fell. And he says, no, you didn't. He said, I'm new here. I just got here to Fort Carson. I'm from Korea. I've only been here for a couple weeks. I don't know anybody. And I said, well, here's my business card. If you ever get your hair cut, you can come to my beauty shop. I have the best barber in town. And so he came to my shop the next day. And I said, oh, good. You want your hair cut? He said, no, I came to take you to lunch. I said, oh, no, sir. I don't date strangers. And I am married. And he said, you're married to a lowlife that ain't no good. And I told you, I'll break his neck if he touches you again. And everybody in my shop going, Carol, go to lunch. I said, no, I don't date. And he's a stranger and I'm married. And he says, I just came to take you to lunch and I don't know anybody. And I thought, just to get to know you and no strings attached. And long story short, we went to go eat and we sat for hours talking. And then he started taking me out. He dated me for like 2 months. And I've never met anybody like him. Open up your car door, such a gentleman. And he was protecting me, standing guard at my house because my ex-husband was always like calling me and threatening me and just a lot of crazy stuff. And so then one day we were at Red Lobster and I said, sir, I've never met anybody like you before. You hold my hand, you open my car doors, you never kiss me, you never touch me. I don't understand. And he says, well, you're a woman of God. I would never disrespect you. I'm like, really? And I was like, are you sure you're not gay? He said, no, I'm not gay. He said, I would never disrespect you. And, I would wait for somebody like you. I said, it could be a long wait. I've been married to him for 9 years and he's never going to give me a divorce. I've tried 3 times. He says, I'm a real man. I'll wait. And so fast forwarding a little bit, that's one of the names of my play. It's called Women's Shoptalk While Real Men Wait. He was that wonderful man and he waited for me. I didn't get my divorce until like 96 and he waited. And I can go back a little bit and tell you something I did, which is really, really bad. So my ex-husband wasn't giving me a divorce. And so this man is an honorable guy. He's waiting on me. He ain't never touched me. And so one day we were at the park and I kissed him. And he said, why'd you do that? And I just want to know if you kissed back. And he says, yeah, I kissed back, but don't do that, Carolyn. He said, I don't want to disrespect you. And so no, Carolyn did it. She took it. Yeah, I did. Okay, not a good thing. But so I did.
No judgment of yourself.
I did. I did. And I did because I purposely did it because my ex-husband was not wanting to give me a divorce. He was threatening me all the time. He was harassing me. And I wanted out. I had tried to divorce him 3 times and I've never cheated. I've never done anything like that. I'm all about God and church and, you know, and even when I tried to divorce him, the church told me I had to take him back. And I'm going, if I cheat, I get pregnant, he'll let me go. I did. He wasn't letting me go. Woo! So Carolyn cheated, got pregnant. My husband didn't know about it. And he was blackmailing me. And he said, if I ever talk to him again, he would make sure he got kicked out the military. So he locked me and held me in bondage until I delivered the baby. And when I delivered the baby, I called my lawyer to the hospital and I said, I need money. I need to settle a case immediately and I need to get out of town. I found out that you get a divorce in Atlanta. So I ran away and came to Atlanta to get my divorce. My ex-husband found out about it. He found me, kidnapped me, the baby, and he threw the baby out of a car window. And so all I could think about is enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And he felt like I tricked him and I got my divorce. And when the way that he stole the baby, and it's really, really, I know nobody believes this. We're doing a movie of this too. But when he kidnapped the baby, I was back there. I was packing my clothes because I'm getting ready to go back to Colorado. I'm going to find my real man. And my daughter says, Mom, he stole the baby. Dad stole the baby. And I'm looking I called the police and they came by. They did a report and they said, if you don't bring the baby back, we'll get you for felony kidnapping charges. So he came back. He honked the horn and said, if you want the baby, B, come get her. So I run outside and he's holding the baby outside of a car window and he's cussing me out. That so-and-so meant that much to you. Da, da, da. He's just yelling at me and I'm going, give me the baby. So I don't know if you've seen the movie Color. I think it's Color. Tyler Perry's Color Girls. And he's holding the kids outside the window. And when the woman's coming closer about getting her children, the kids are dropping lower and lower. Well, as I'm walking closer to the car and he's holding my baby outside the window, I get closer. He's holding her higher in the air. And I'm going, what is he doing? He's cussing me out. I'm going, what is he going to do to my baby? So I'm going, okay. So I went to run to grab her. And he sped out the driveway. So you want this baby that much, B? You catch her. And he threw her out the car window. I couldn't believe it. And I called the police and the baby wasn't crying. And I thought, I don't know what happened to her. So the police met me at the hospital. The doctors examined her and they said, there's nothing broken, no scratches, no bruises. And I'm like, how is that possible? He threw her and she landed on the ground. They said, there's nothing. And I said, wow, God is awesome. And so I had a choice. Do I press charges and stay in Atlanta or do I go find my real man in Colorado? Well, I ran and I found my real man in Colorado. And by then he was ready to marry somebody else. Yeah, he was engaged. He said, you left me. I didn't know where you went. You didn't call. I couldn't because I didn't want him to get kicked out the military. And fast forwarding, that real man, I told him that if he goes and marries somebody else, this woman he's about to marry is gay and she's cheating on you. And he said, what is wrong with you? You don't even know her. And I didn't. He went off to get married. About 2 weeks later, he called me and said, pick him up at the airport from Baltimore. I did. And I said, where's your wife? Did you come to get the baby? He said, no, I came back to marry you. I'm like, what? He said, I didn't marry her. And I said, I don't understand. He said, God must have sent you to me because you don't know the girl's name. You don't know anything about her. But before the wedding, she told me she was seeing her female boss at BET. And I thought, Carolyn told me about her. God must have sent Carolyn to me. So I came back to marry you. I'm like, really? So he told me, he said, you can have whatever you want. You got $5,000 worth if you want a wedding or you want a ring. And I said, no, I want the beautiful wedding of my whole dreams. And I did. He gave me the most beautiful wedding in the whole world and everything I wanted. 5 bridesmaids, a trip to Jamaica. It was an amazing wedding. And the same man that I married our anniversary was last week. 27 years is the same man that I met 28 years ago. And so I have an amazing husband. And that play, Women Shop Talk While Real Men Wait, has been on tour since 2007. And we are now going to film it as a movie.
That's amazing.
Absolutely
what
amazing.
a powerful story. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
What's your anniversary date?
August the 2nd of 1997.
Wow. Well, happy anniversary. Belated happy anniversary.
Yeah.
So Carolyn, as you shared that part of your story, and I wonder what you heard yourself say about yourself that would be a theme for your life up to that point. What was the theme?
The theme was let go and let God.
Mm.
I had to. You know, I've been in church my entire life. I know everything in the ministry, but sometimes you can be going to church but not really be in Christ. And I thought I was raised right, 2-parent home, and I had to find provisions how to get out of that. And I studied the word really for the first time, you know, after being so old that I know God did not create me to have somebody to tear the temple down that he created. And so that's when I had to let go and let God have it. And he had to tell me it was okay. I found out there was adultery, that he's cheated with my best friend. And I said, oh, well, I might have forgave it before. I can't forgive it this time. I get out. Yes. So yeah, enough was enough. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I didn't deserve it. My children didn't deserve it. And I needed to be a witness for other people to understand if God can help me, that he built your temple for you to edify and to glorify him, not man. And so Women's Shoptalk While Real Men Wait is my life story, survivor of domestic violence. And we have to know that he created us to worship and praise him, not other man.
You have a clip of that? I know you have some clips to share with us, and they might not be labeled. I'm not sure.
That one, I don't think you have that one. Those that I sent are mostly on Angel's Palace, a true sex trafficking story about my niece that was trafficked by her mother. And those clippings would be about Angel's Palace, the clippings that we actually performed when we were with you at
couple months ago. Let me just ask you, take us back to how you got involved in theater and performing. I also used to have a teen theater program here in Atlanta. I don't know if I shared that with you.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it was all about teaching them to be, as your plays do, teaching them to be kind of peer educators, to teach other young people about health and wellness, about diet, about the reasons for delaying sex, HIV. You know, we had a number of issues that we covered that were very, very powerful. And and it was just so nice working with the young people. So tell us how you got motivated to get into theater.
I told my dad I wanted to be an actress, and he said, no, you do computer science, Carolyn. I said, I don't want to do computers. I want to be an actress. He said, you ain't going to make no money. So I was obedient. I took computer science. I got my degree. I graduated early from high school. I have a degree in computer science. But while I was there, I took some theater classes, and yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
I did. And so after my degree in computer science, I went back and I got a mass communications degree and minor in theater and journalism. And I took playwriting and screenwriting. And my professor told me, he said, Carolyn, you're good. And I said, what do you mean? He said, you're better than Tyler Perry. And I was like, really, sir? He said, yeah, you need to go see the dean in the communications department and tell him to put this production on right now. And that scene 5, cheaters, about the abuse and you catching your sister cheating with your husband and him breaking your leg and choking you, you need to put on this production. And I looked at him and I thought, wow, Tyler Perry inspired me, because I actually used to work for Bronner Brothers, Upscale Magazine. I was a manager. And so I promoted Diary, and I met Tyler then. And I ended up getting snowed in Tyler's house out in Union City. And when I got snowed in, I sat with him for hours until maybe 4 o'clock in the morning at his house. And I got snowed in, and he talked to me about his trials and tribulations as a playwright, sleeping in his car, nobody believing him, the failures of his play. And he told me to write the vision, make it plain. And that was in like 2001 when we promoted Diary. And it took me 5 years to tell my story because everybody liked my ex-husband because he was a minister. And I was ashamed and I was afraid of what people would think of me and how I would be judged about how you could stay with somebody who chokes you, breaks your leg, throw the baby out of a car and locks you in a house in bondage, spending a week in jail. And you did all this and stayed with him, that I was afraid to tell the story. But when I did, I didn't tell anybody it was my story. But everybody from my church came, and the first show I did in Colorado Springs, it sold out, standing room only, and the people were there and supportive, and they came to me, they were crying, and I thought, oh my gosh. They said, Carolyn, tell everybody about your story, travel it, and share and save people's lives. And so I did. I've done 46 shows of Shoptalk and Angel's Palace. I've done 10 shows of the sex trafficking awareness, and the gift of giving. I've done probably 20 shows. And playwriting it's a relief for people that don't understand the language of healing. And sometimes we wear a mask. And when you see something on stage, it helps you to remove the mask and to deal with what is going on with you. And it's an illustration of things and hoping for a revelation of healing. So that's why I do the stage plays. And acting, I love it. I'm an amazing actress. Oh, I am. But I have multiple sclerosis. And so when I was diagnosed, it kind of sat me down. I couldn't do as much anymore. But I continue to hire other cast members to tell the story and to bring it to relevancy to help other people.
Sorry about that. I was going to say we got something for your MS. So,
oh, yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Awesome.
you definitely need to. We've been exploring a lot of different things in health and natural health and wellness, and that Alice AI app is one of the things that we're sharing with people. So let's definitely talk about that. Red light bed. We have a red light. It's giving the hint with the red light band, but we have a red light bed up in Swanee, and it's extreme. It's very powerful for helping the body to heal at the cellular level. So,
Amen.
yeah, we definitely look forward to need to come up and spend a day with us in Swanee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That sounds amazing.
Absolutely. So, and time is like winding down. I want you to talk a little bit about sex trafficking in Atlanta. Your niece's story. I know that's what the play is about. The one that you're part of.
The play is called Angel's Palace: A True Sex Trafficking Story about my niece that was trafficked by her mother. I didn't understand the language of trafficking, and I found that a large percentage of people don't understand what trafficking is. And so when my niece came, she had been trafficked since she was 13 years old. She was forced to marry somebody when she was 13 years old. He was 10 years older than her. And she told me, she said, Auntie, I want you to write a play about it. I want to help save lives because this is a bad thing. Mm-hmm. My niece was groomed, was forced to sleep with somebody 7 to 10 times a day, street performer. She didn't go to school after the 3rd, 4th grade. She didn't have an education. She sang on the streets, and that's how she made money. She found a contract between her husband and her mother, and she saw that she was being contracted to be with this guy, and this guy was 10 years older than her. And when she saw it, she wanted to run away and have her dad help her. Her dad happens to be my nephew, and then he asked me to help her. And she came to Atlanta. And when I found out there were things that I didn't know anything about with trafficking, that she was groomed psychologically, she was drugged, she was held in bondage, not just her, but her other 4 siblings. And they were being groomed, and they were like 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Oh my goodness.
So being molested, being raped, watching nasty movies, helping to get your mind equipped to being, just publicly being exposed to everybody and anybody to sleep with. So I wrote the stage play. And we have done the play 10, 11 times in Georgia. We have the show coming at Uptown Comedy Corner on Sunday, August the 25th, which is a Sunday at 4 o'clock. And tickets are on Eventbrite, or you can actually cash app Dynasty Mindset for the stage play. I have some great actors that are in it. Gene Poo-Poo Man of Parliament, George Clinton's Parliament, is in it. He's playing the doctor that's looking for organs to purchase. I have Cornelius George. He's also with Clayton County School District. He's a comedian. He's in. He's going to open it up. I have Kenyon Glover coming from Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, the NFL football player. So these are the cast are willing to do this to help to bring awareness. Not getting paid a whole lot, but really just trying to help to let people know that, you know, this is real. This is not a joke. And things that happen to these kids and how they're getting contracted, how they're being snatched up by angel's dust or their friends selling them the money and parents. This is not a joke. They're not coming back the same anymore if they're taken and snatched up and they're being found. But when they're found, if they're found, they're mentally and physically just starved.
What is the average age, would you say, that this trafficking, what's the age group?
I have found that they start grooming them as early as 10 years old. They're ready to start trafficking them as early as 10.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That is horrible. And you know, they always say, they tell people, if you see something, say something. You know, and I've seen a lot of things like on TikTok and Facebook, little scenes that people are acting out. Where, you know, somebody like a young lady or a gentleman will come and sit on a bench and they see a young lady and they see an older man and they say, are you okay? Do you know them? You know, and sometimes they say, I don't really know them. But it's so easy to ask, you know. And these young folks are so vulnerable, and they need people to see, you know, to see them and to see what's going on. I mean, I understand that sometimes stores like, you know, Walmart and places like that, you know, are places that these girls are being picked up. They have vans. They use vans, right, to snatch them.
Yeah, exactly. The vans are, you can't hear anything, you can't see anything, so they're silenced. And the kids, if you see anybody that does a hand signal that's asking for help, it's like they have 4 fingers up, and if they have their thumb here and they do this, that means I need help. And all that is in the play.
To know, and it's in the play. Wonderful. Tell us again how people can get tickets. I don't want us to run out of time before people have a chance to write down how they can get tickets.
Get your tickets. You can go to Cash App Dynasty Mindset, DYNASTYMINDSET, Dynasty Mindset. You can Cash App. You can go on Eventbrite as well. We have some children coming from Clayton County School District that are going to be there. I'm excited about, you know, bringing awareness to them and having people understand the angel's dust is dangerous. You touch that, you inhale it, you're out, and they've snatched you.
Yeah, that's so important for people. Oh, good. Toya put the Cash App up there, Dynasty Mindset. The date is August 25th. It's a Sunday.
August the 25th at 4 o'clock. So I'm hoping that you two will be there. Your tickets are at Wilco.
We'll be there. Thank you. We will definitely be there.
Good.
And we'll tell lots of folks about it too.
Yes, it's at Uptown Comedy Corner, 1155 Virginia Avenue in Hapeville, Georgia.
Comedy Corner in Hapeville.
Yes, ma'am. Uptown Comedy Corner.
Okay. Well, and the other good thing about this show is that the recordings are always available on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So we keep sharing them. You can snatch the YouTube and just share it with everyone so that they get the information and share it. It'd be great to have that studio filled up.
My God. That would be amazing. Honestly, it means the world to me that if they don't have money, contact Carolyn, because I want you there to get the word prevention and awareness, and I'll find somebody to sponsor the tickets for them.
Wonderful. And that's an idea. People who are listening can volunteer to sponsor
Yes.
for young people.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
this is an amazing gift that you're offering back to the world.
Mhm.
Amazing ministry, outreach, and so many young ladies and males are
males too.
being maybe
Abducted.
being helped from being prevented from this happening to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that whole sex trafficking is real. This thing that's going on with these leaders in our community, our celebrities, and I mean the Epstein thing with Diddy or it's bad. This is real. This is not a joke. You know, this is not made up. And social media is the one that's really hurting and harming because kids are thinking it's a popularity thing and somebody likes me. And these strangers are dangerous.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, that speaks to the self-esteem of our youth is just kind of in some ways deteriorated because perhaps of mishaps in early part of their lives that was beyond their control, the disconnect of experienced love, and so they're vulnerable,
right?
Looking for places to be loved and affection and a sense of belonging,
right?
So again, we just thank you for who you are and what you're doing in this area and that you're touching.
I'm just grateful that you guys are allowing me to be here to spread the awareness and to prevent this from happening to people. This is horrible. Girls, boys, blacks, whites, it doesn't matter, rich or poor. If you got a body, they want it. They'll exploit it. They'll use it for the bodies. You know, human trafficking, they out there taking these body parts and organs and they're making money off of it. Even if you think you're too old, your organ is good for them to take it and transport it and use it and make money off of it.
Folks need to be aware of what's going on, and we're so glad that you're using this medium of performance to get the word out. It's such a easy way, not easy way, but it's a powerful way to touch hearts.
Yeah,
you know, those who have been through it, as well as those who are vulnerable, and you know, as Bernard said, will be detracted from it. You know, they'll see what it helps them to open their eyes and make better and healthier choices moving forward. So we are truly grateful to you and the work that you're doing.
Yeah, we have some clips. Would you like to share some of the clips that you have?
Yay! Oh my God, you're gonna love it.
Let's run them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
We have built an empire doing this right here. This isn't the life I chose, but this life chose me. It chose wrong, baby. Don't you ever tell me to take my hands off you. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? And I'm gonna make sure that by the time I'm finished, the whole world's gonna know my name.
Yeah.
Powerful. Wow.
That was the very, very first Raw I had. And that was my niece, my real niece in that clipping.
Oh, wow.
She wanted to help me promote it. And she helped me write the play. Make sure I had the story right.
Oh, wonderful. She's beautiful too.
Yeah.
So I hope, I wish her continued healing. I'm sure working with you that's happening.
Yeah, I know we have other short ones. So let's see the other short ones. We have about 60 minutes remaining. So let's get them in.
Okay.
I'm gonna count it right. You laundered money, I defended you. Robbed, taken bodies, I defended you. You getting paid.
I pretty much got fixed. This is not who I am. I'm all about God.
Man, sis, what's going on here? You're doing your job.
Oh no!
Wow.
Wow. We were pulled in, even just for that.
Yeah. That was Canton Jones and Eddie Levert in the clippings with me. And we actually filmed it as a short story back during COVID time.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
But everything in that clipping is in the play.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay. Wonderful. Let's see the next one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Come here, sweetheart. Talk to Daddy Rock.
Don't touch me. I'm not your property. I'm God's property. I ain't like those other girls.
I'm your daddy. So get ready so your daddy can introduce you to your new family. Yeah. Sure. Stop! Get in here and bring me my work.
Wow. That was raw. She's playing my niece who have been snatched up and put in the palace to perform for the gentleman, and the man that owns the palace is Raw, and that's him choking her because she refused to do what he wanted her to do. She said, I belong to God, I don't belong to you.
Right. Wow. We encourage everyone, August 25th, 4:00. We know where you need to be at the Uptown Comedy Club, Hateville, if you're in the Atlanta area, of course.
Yeah.
But if folks want to help sponsor young folks going to see the play, reach out to Carolyn, either by email or through her website or through us. Either way, we'll make sure that we connect folks.
Amen.
Thank you so much again. Time is just about up. Any final words from you to our audience?
I want to thank you abundantly for allowing me to be a guest, and thank you for allowing me to reach those and to help those that don't understand the language of trafficking. This production is something you don't want to miss. I mean, if you miss it, it's because you don't understand and don't know what is about to happen and can happen. So I'm encouraging everybody to come out to Uptown Comedy on Sunday the 25th at 4:00. Come see the play, Angel's Palace. It's an amazing stage play.
That is wonderful. And congratulations to you
for
creating this wonderful work of art that is saving lives.
Yes,
that's your whole point. So we honor you and appreciate you, and we will be there front row.
Yay! Thank you.
Second row. We'll be up front somewhere.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
And don't go anywhere. As soon as the show's over, we do our little debriefing. Bernard's going to close this out.
It is for the ancestors. Ashe.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.